My next guest on the program today is an award-winning writer and director. He located to Australia after 2 years of service in the Norwegian forces to undertake a Bachelor of Theatre here in Australia. In 2015, he co-wrote the Screen Australia comedy Footballer Wants a Wife. Sorheim is directing the play One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which opens next week here in Melbourne, and we're going to have a chat to him right now to find out what a director does with something like this. Carl, nice to have you on Casey Radio.
Thank you so much for having me, Leigh.
That's a pleasure, mate. How did you go with your Bachelor? You get through that all right?
Yeah. Well,
that's a few years ago now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's back in 2003, 2005. No, that was great. We had an incredible, very, very Russian, lecturer who came from a very different school of acting and directing, and it was his way or the highway, basically. Which, there's merit.
How do you cope with something like that when that person, the lecturer, is very, very different? Do you sort of switch off or just follow? What do you do?
No, not at all. Well, you couldn't switch off. So, I mean, once he, just to prove a point, he threatened Desdemona with an actual knife to show her what fear looked like.
Oh,
so he came from that school, so to speak. But so you can't really switch off. You can switch on more than anything.
You might get the knife yourself if that's the case.
Exactly. So,
Carl,
but it's a different school of thinking, but you learn from every school.
Yeah, of course you do. Then you came to Oz, settled here, of course, and you've been here ever since.
Yeah, pretty much. Met my wife here and all that, so it seemed like the right thing to do.
Carl, tell us about this one you're coming up now, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I dare say most of the audience would have seen the movie. How difficult is it for you to direct something like this?
Well, I mean, the challenge obviously is in the incredibly uneconomic cast size of 15, which is just nuts. I mean, the playwright clearly didn't think about the economy of actually staging this when he put it together. But another problem being that everyone's seen Jack Nicholson and everyone's seen the performances from the film, so they kind of liken it to that. And the film and the play are quite different.
Are they really? Yeah.
In fact, so much so that when Jack Nicholson first was approached for the film, the producers weren't sure that he was right for it, because up to then he hadn't done anything like that, and they just didn't see him as McMurphy. But stranger casting has been done, and now the two are inseparable. And every time anyone stages Cuckoos Nest, everyone accepts it. Nicholson, but
You're breaking up a little bit there, mate. Can you just move the phone around for me? You still there? Carl, I think we might have lost you.
Are you out there, mate?
Yeah, I've got you back now. Yep, you're there now.
Yeah, cool. Sorry, what was that?
I just said, can you move closer to your phone because it was breaking up on us?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've got you back there. Yeah, so you were talking about Nicholson and how people think of him every time the movie comes up or a play comes up. They think of Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, basically, that's unfortunately the situation that we're dealing with. But the Nicholson on screen and the McMurphy on page in the play are relatively different characters, but more so the Chief Bromden of the play and the movie are very different. The Chief Bromden of the play is more in line with the Chief Bromden of the book. So, and again, people go in and they expect, this looming, silent Native American, but that's not what they're going to see. So.
Yeah. So how do you handle this as a director, and you've got a powerful piece to produce here and direct? How do you go about it?
Yeah, well, it's tough. First I had to read the play 100 times and then read the book and then try and just find some sort of balance between them. And after that, there's been a lot of workshopping involved. You go in with an idea of what it is, and as you see the characters come to life, you suddenly start to realise, oh, okay, well, I thought this is where Cheswick would be and this is what Scanlon would get up to. But then, things start to just sort of unlock themselves. The play just comes to life as you start to realise what's actually happening in the subtext and what's really being said. So you go in with a plan and then you pretty much scrap the entire plan and go, what the hell would work?
Do you really? Yeah. So you have the guideline there and you say, okay, it's all gone by the wayside, I'll do something totally different.
Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration on my part, but 70% of what I wanted is probably still there, more or less. But there's a solid 30% or if not more that's been brought by actors who are phenomenal actors who are just working so hard and who come up with just every, completely great and individual choices at every turn, and it, that changes the direction of the play, every single time. So I guess the main challenge here has been, I wanted this to be a play that people go and see and really, really have fun and feel like this is a really ephemeral, unique experience that they couldn't get anywhere else. And that's kind of my bugbear with theatre a little bit, is sometimes it just becomes too cerebral and it becomes too hard for people to sink their teeth into and really enjoy. My acting coach, back in the day, he used to say that, the only way theatre can work is if it's like a boxing match. If it's as simple to understand as that. If you understand the conflict, then you can follow whatever it is. And that conflict can be just something that you see in the physicality of the actors or it's in the text. But either way, if it gets too cerebral, people fall off, they don't understand it, and they go home going, well,
what was that all about? Yeah,
but that was impressive. They learned a lot of lines, but what was it all about?
Yeah. Well, it's
so
very different.
To avoid that.
This is very different for you because you've been doing film, and now you've come back into the theatre. Because Footballer Wants a Wife was one of those, wasn't it, from Screen Australia?
Well,
you co-wrote that, didn't you?
Yeah, I co-wrote that. So I mean, that was a fun project to work on. But that was sort of a mock reality show, which is fun for the time. But it's not exactly what I normally would sort of reference that I work on. Recently, for instance, a film that I wrote called Beast won the International Flicker Fest in Sydney.
That was in Sydney, yeah.
Yeah, so Best Australian Short Film. So that one's going into the Oscars, and that's that's an Oscar-accredited film, I should say. It's not going into the Oscars. It's still got to go through a bunch of hoops before then. But that's a dark drama about an aging grandma who's faced with having to either sell out her grandson or risk being ostracized by the local community. So it's a totally different thing. I mean, you just pretty much, in this field, you just take whatever job comes your way and hopefully you can do something decent with it. So, mock reality shows is one thing, but I do other stuff as well.
Yeah, exactly right. Carl, how are the rehearsals going now?
Oh, mate, well, we've concluded all the real rehearsals, so we're going into tech tomorrow. So it's, I won't lie, mate, it's been pretty full on, but it's also been incredibly fun, and we've got such a good cast, such a solid and fun and loving cast, and that's really been instrumental in this, because there's been so many weird setbacks during just on a personal level, that is, during the process, that it's been tough, but it's been really rewarding as well.
That's good to hear, not about the setbacks, but about the reward that's going to come out of all this. I spoke to Eddie last week, and what a voice does that man have? Oh,
I know, it's phenomenal, isn't it?
Oh, look, he's an opera singer, of course, and this is, quite different for him to be doing this, but what a voice. Gee, you'd kill for that, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I used to sing in a male choral society back in the day, but I feel like that's not quite on par with what Eddie does.
Yeah.
So, no, absolutely. He's an amazing actor as well. He's got such great depth, and he's so malleable and so easygoing, and he's just an absolute thrill to direct. And it's just the little things as well, because, when Chief Bromden has a moment where he goes into a little bit of a tribal dance where he sings, and Eddie had gone away to check that, he'd found historically accurate music to be singing on the day, so that he wasn't. But we were a little bit concerned that you don't want to John Wayne it up, because you kind of want to pay respect to the actual tribe in question. But as it happens, of course, the tribe that Chief Bromden is of didn't actually ever have any war chants, because they never went to war on anyone. So instead, Eddie went out and found the songs that the tribe that Chief Bromden is of would have heard when he was out on the river, on the Columbia River in the 50s and 60s. So that's where he's based it on. So, it's just fantastic to have someone like that on board who will do that level of research on his own.
And do it so well. Yeah,
and do it so well, exactly.
Now, you're opening next week.
Yeah, opening Wednesday night. I am sweating bullets. But yeah.
A few sleepless nights?
I'll tell you what, mate, I keep waking up in the middle of the night from nightmares of, like, actors dropping out and me having to learn the lines and then pop on the costume, and it's just awful.
Oh, you don't. What does your wife say? Go back to bloody sleep.
Pretty much.
I can just imagine. Have you got any kids?
No, I've got one on the way, though.
Well, I was going to say, this is like having a child, isn't it? Waking up all night and, all that. Yeah. So this play, then, is going to be your introduction to having a child at home.
Yeah.
You'll know what the sleepless nights are all about then.
I think there'll be less people involved in the child rearing, but...
Well, you would hope so, wouldn't you? What's your mother-in-law like, all right?
Thankfully they're up in Queensland,
That's far enough away, isn't it? Yeah. We'll be there Friday night. I think the official opening's Friday night, so we'll be there Friday night next week to come along and see this.
Yeah, we open on Wednesday, but I wonder if the official opening is Thursday.
Well, it's in my diary. I'll have to look at my diary.
I look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, I will be there for sure, and we'll come and meet you and say hello to Eddie too at the same time. All right, mate, you take care, and you're in a great theatre, and people can go online and book for that too. All right, wish you well.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Carl. Take care, mate. Okay.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye to you. I'll have to check my diary. I thought it was next Friday night, but now Carl's telling me it's Thursday. I have to go in here and see what they've told me. Anyway, have to have a little look in the old phone. 5 to 3. After 3 this afternoon, we'll be having a little play around with a man and his music. So that'll come your way. We're going to feature some of the classics of the great male singers. So stay tuned for that one too. I was going to play a little snippet of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest theme. Have a listen to this. You might remember this. It's a bit ghosty. Have a listen.